Hey everybody, back out here getting to work on the satellite. Now I've been talking about the speakers and the radio a lot, as well as some of the engine configurations. So I have decided, instead of butchering up the doors or butchering up the kick panels, that I'm going to build a center console. And I started to do that already. So I've got a preliminary design, and I just about lost my brand new phone. But I got a preliminary design over here. I did a cardboard markup and then came over and, cut everything out in the MDF. I'll tell you what, the jigsaw did not do too good getting these straight angles, but this fits fairly well. And as you can see, I just got a couple little pieces holding it together. That was just so I could do some test fitting. Now what I need to do is go ahead and bolt these together and match up all the angles. And what I'm going to do is take my belt sander and flatten all this out over here and vice versa. So some cleanup I've got to do, and that's what I'm about to start working on. I'm going to get this put together and start sanding it down and flattening everything out and smoothing it out before we start figuring out what we're going to do for the inlay. I probably need to cut this down a little bit. It's pretty tight, but either way, the speakers will go right in here. There's not a lot of room to work with because it's an AC car. And on this side especially, we go underneath the AC portion of the box, the AC heater box, whatever you want to call it. So it's a very limited workspace. And this is actually higher. I don't know if you guys, not familiar with satellites, but as you can see, I had to go down a lot lower because basically the dash curves and then comes down on the left side near the driver's side. So it's a little bit of difference. Obviously, this thing's not being held together very well, so it's tilting all over the place. But like I said, going to bolt it together, sand it down, try to smooth out the, flatten out the areas that are a little curvy from the jigsaw, and go from there. Let's get to it. All right. Is it perfect? No, but is it relatively even and decent? Yes. So kind of got some curve to it, rounded off some corners. It's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. So pretty happy with it in general. Now I just got to figure out what I'm going to do as far as putting it together. I think it's about 5 inches in the middle. I'll have to remeasure that, but pretty happy in general with the way it's turning out already. Try to give some curvature to it. I still don't know exactly what I'm going to do with the inside. I might just use some board like this and some maybe brackets to put it in. I'm not sure yet. I still got to figure it out. But yeah, I love it. All right, so it's about 6 7/8 of an inch for this middle section. I got 2 long boards I cut out of just some plywood. It's about 3/4 inch thick, so it matches up to this. And give it a little more structure, give it a little more solid base to work through. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm working with right now. I need to, you know, chop it up and put it together, but I want some clamps so I can clamp it together and really, you know, get it the way I want before I start, you know, nailing things and screwing things together. But I mean, so far I'm pretty happy. I mean, I do see I got a little bit of a, you know, issue right here. It's a little angled instead of exactly flat. At least that is with the cut. So there'll be some things to smooth out still, but all in all, yeah, it's going to turn out nice, I think. I might need to use some of the MDF on these upper little areas just to try to, you know, match up that curve. I don't know if this is going to sand down quite as easily as this, so I might go ahead and get some more MDF board just to do these little sections in here. That way I can match up my curve a little bit better. I don't know yet. So, but either way, it's looking good. So, all right, later guys, that's all for today. Hey, back out here working on that center console, everybody, and a couple pieces of board. I put the back piece and a front piece in real quick just to get it stabilized so I could go measure some things. I've got my main board that's going to go from here all the way back. It's going to make the floor of this basically, so you have your box, and it's going to make it real sturdy. And I'm going to go down about the 3/4 of an inch to create a little bit of a ledge. What I'm about to do is put this in, get it where I want it. I'm going to use my clamps and clamp it all down, and then I'm going to measure the cutout for the shifter. It's a very large shifter, so it basically takes up the whole flat area. So have to do a couple things just to make sure things fit right. So let's get to it. All right, we got it nailed in, got our little thing cut out. It's fitting fairly well now. I still need to put in the front piece, and that's where it's kind of going to be tricky. I think I'll be fine, but you know, once you put that piece in there, getting over this hump to make sure it fits all right, especially with this in place, is your big gotcha. But everything else looks like it's going to be fine. I've allowed enough latitude to move things around, give a little bit of spacing. This is crooked, so you know, that's kind of how it goes sometimes. So that's why I've kind of made my blade actually bent, and that's why that happened. I was just using this edge instead of following the saw blade. I guess I hit maybe a nail, but you know, it's the way she goes, boys. It's the way she goes. But for the most part, I mean, I didn't even, you know, make a back to this to hit around the hump. It's just kind of sitting there right now. So, but I still have a lot of maneuverability. You know, this probably needs to come over a little bit like this for that to be actually square. So that's kind of why I'm just kind of playing, giving myself some room, because I knew this wasn't in here straight. So I was going to have a little bit of wiggle room. You know, I'll just take the vinyl and allow the vinyl to hang over a lot of this. That way you have somewhere to kind of make up the hole, or you might even do something else. But yeah, getting there. Now need to do the rest of the pieces, and for that, see, this is where we have that, so I need to make a piece for this right here. So about to get a piece of cardboard and see if we can figure out that piece real quick. All right, there it is for now. I still got quite a bit to do, but I ran out of nails. I do need to trim it a little bit right there so that I can make this snug up a little bit better. So maybe about 1/8 of an inch, just right over there. That'll allow it to push forward just that little bit more. So we got just enough gap. Now I got this kind of loose right now, so to get this in, I have to loosen this up and pull it all the way back and then put the console in. So it is a royal pain in the ass. Have to take that off too. Because I mean, I got to tilt it to get behind the stereo, then angle it up, then slide it down. So it sucks. But hey, we're making progress. I was going to put 2 cup holders here, but it looks like that's going to be enough for just one. So fine by me. I do like my cup holder, and whoever sits bitch gets to hold their own drink. So, you know, something like that. But hey, it's pretty good progress. A day and a half. Well, not really. It's just a couple hours each day, the last couple days. So, but we're getting there. All right, guys. I've got a temporary piece here just to basically, I'm about to put some adhesive vinyl all through this center area, and I'm going to wrap it up these edges. But I want to make sure the edges are even on each side, so I just use some clamps real quick to put this here. That way I can put a solid piece of vinyl through here and make sure it sticks in the same spot. And that'll kind of help with all these edges, getting the angles right with the vinyl on there. So about to just clean this real quick and use my vinyl. It is the stuff I used on the vinyl headliner to, you know, fix all the spots that were separated. So it may work, it may not work. I tested it on the bottom already and it sticks pretty good. So I just want to clean up, you know, as much dust as possible and then go from there. And there it is. I got all the inside wrapped. Got it loose in some areas, but it's adhesive vinyl, and I put, you know, a couple staples on there too. I really want this to kind of lose its stickiness. I want it to just stay there. So that is the one flaw. Maybe I just need to, you know, like put something on the back side of it so that stickiness will just go away. But it'll need to be cleaned. Next up, I'll foam the sides and wrap that around these tops. And the idea was when I do the outside, I'll wrap it around and bring it down to this edge as well and staple it there. So that's where the outside vinyl will come across, roll over, and do everything there. And then I will put a piece on there to do the rest. I might not only, basically I'm going to use the same thing here. So I use this edging essentially right here, and it goes right over that 3/4 wood just fine. So I've got more of that inside, and that's the plan for here. So it allows me to really take that vinyl all the way to this edge and staple it down even on top if I want to. And then just put that over top of it, and it covers all the staples and everything up. So yeah. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in this week's episode. We got a lot of work done on the center console. That's about all we got done, but we got a lot done, and I just got to wait on some foam. So it might be a week or two before I get to really finish that, because the foam isn't going to be here, according to Amazon, until about August 2nd. So I do have to wait on that to complete the center console, but it's built. We just got to wrap it and put it together. I do need to figure out the box lid still, so I'll have to cut that and put a little hinge on. No big deal, but we'll get to that. So anyways, I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out so far. So that's kind of what it is. As always, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you have any questions about what I'm doing. And hopefully next week, probably going to be more swords. I'm going to get the, hopefully the radiator installed. Maybe even take it for a test drive. Because once I get the radiator installed, I think that's really the only thing preventing me from driving it right now. Well, other than the fact that I don't have the title or registration or anything like that. But I can take it down the road just here on my street. So no big deal there. But we'll be able to see, how streetable it is. So it does look like it used to be a race car. Possibly, maybe a drag. It has a MSD in it that was meant for drag racing. There's some things changed on it to make it a little bit more streetable, so we'll see. I don't know what gear's in it. Could be a posi, could be a high gear, you never know. So, anyway, stay tuned till next week, and we'll see what we can do.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play